The Syrian Arab Army gains full control over the towns of al-Sbeineh al-Kubra, Sbeineh al-Sughra and Ghazal in Damascus countryside, having got rid of the terrorists' last gatherings in these towns. The Syrian Arab Army targets terrorist dens in ancient Homs and makes progress in Maheen town. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons today announced that the experts in charge of eliminating the chemical weapons in Syria had inspected 22 out of 23 sites declared by the Syrian government. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Irado Krikorian with the news in English. Syrian Arab Army units gained full control over the towns of al-Sbeineh al-Kubra, Sbeineh al-Sughra and Ghazal in Damascus countryside province, having got rid of the terrorists' last gatherings in these towns. An army source said in a statement that recapturing these towns represent a new strategic achievement for the Syrian Arab Army in the southern and western Ghouta, paving the way for the restoring stability and security to Al-Hajar al-Aswad area. The source added that eliminating terrorist gatherings in al-Sbeineh means destroying a main base for terrorists in supporting eastern Ghouta with weapons and ammunitions. The 9-day operation killed a large number of terrorists and destroyed their dens and hideouts, in addition to dismantling many explosive devices planted by terrorists. Units of the Syrian Arab Army along with national defense troops confronted a number of terrorist groups who tried to infiltrate into Arne town and assume control of the adjacent hills in al-Sheikh mountain in Damascus countryside, taking into consideration the strategic importance of this area, which is close to the Lebanese borders, especially Shab'a farms. In Damascus, a Syrian Arab Army unit has intercepted an attempt by a terrorist gang to infiltrate from Dhahrat Mustah in Barza neighborhood in the direction of al-Ensha'at quarter, killing and injuring the members of the group. In Damascus suburbs, a citizen was killed when terrorists detonated an explosive device they had planted in a car in Dar Ali Square. The car, a Diolite, was parked near Al-Nuzha building, exploded and was completely burnt down, killing the driver inside. Syrian Arab Army units have eliminated armed terrorist groups on the road between Al-Hmera in Damascus suburbs and Maheen in Homs countryside, tightening control on the area. The military source, which mentioned this, said controlling this road represented a strong blow dealt to the armed terrorist groups in the area, as it constituted the main way of supplies for the terrorists in Maheen. The source added that many armed groups were completely eliminated in the villages and towns of Ad-Dar al-Kabira, Taldo and Burj Qa'i, and that their arms and ammunition were destroyed. In Homs, the army killed and wounded terrorists near Mustafa Pasha Mosque in Babhoud neighborhood and destroyed a terrorist vehicle in the surroundings of Shamsi Pasha Mosque in Al-Qusur neighborhood. The Syrian Arab Army continues to make progress in the ancient section of Homs, setting up effective ambushes in different sites, killing and wounding dozens of terrorists. The terrorist gangs stationed in some areas in ancient Homs, especially in Al-Hashish Souk, tried to infiltrate into city center, being the highest point in Homs, but their attempts failed by the Syrian Arab Army. Other terrorist groups tried to break into Al-Amal hospital, trying to lift the siege imposed upon other gang groups in the area. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons today announced that the experts in charge of eliminating the chemical weapons in Syria had inspected 22 out of 23 sites declared by the Syrian government. In a statement published by the French news agency, the organization said it has inspected with cameras one of the 2 sites it had previously avoided for security reasons. It added that the site that was inspected had been empty for a long time. Traces of big damage could be seen in the empty building. The organization pointed out that the site was verified with the help of cameras that were operated by Syrian staff under the supervision of the inspection team. It made it clear that the geographic location of the site and the hour of taking the videos had been verified. A forum for young Syrian sculptors was organized by the Directorate of Fine Arts at the Ministry of Culture in cooperation with the Technical Institute for Applied Arts in Al-Qal'a Square in Damascus. The artists said their participation in the forum offered them the chance to be known on the artistic arena as young sculptors of various artistic schools. They underlined the need of according bigger support to artists through the participation of Arab and foreign sculptors to allow interaction and communication among various cultures. Welcome back. Prime Minister Dr. Wael al-Halaqi asserted that the government works to reconstruct the affected areas in Syria due to the terrorist acts with coordination with the concerned parties and non-governmental organizations in order to develop an electronic system that allows taking any decision based on centralized data. He also said the number of the affected Syrian families is exceeded 1 million, noting that the government is working to provide the affected citizens with basic needs. Moreover, Dr. Wael al-Halaqi pointed out that the subsidy program for the affected families had begun in a number of provinces, as the government has prepared about 30 billion Syrian pounds for reconstruction process for the past year and 40 billion Syrian pounds for the upcoming year. The Minister of Tourism signed a memorandum of understanding with the Syrian Secretary for Development to enhance the tourism development. The Minister of Tourism said that this agreement is based on developing the youth capacity and preparing the necessary cadres. He also added that many contracts were signed with sales centers by the Syrian Secretary for Development. During a meeting today attended by the Chinese ambassador and the Russian one, the Minister of Tourism, Bashar Yazigi, asserted the importance to focus on the different kinds of tourism and the ways to overcome the obstacles that face tourism sector. He also indicated the importance to start a joint tourism activity with the Chinese embassy. On his part, the Chinese ambassador asserted that the Chinese government interest in cooperation with Syria, especially in tourism sector, because Syria is the tourist destination for most Chinese since 2006. The Director General of the Commercial Bank of Syria said that the total value of the financing processes since October 2012 until now was estimated at 120 billion Syrian pounds. The director also indicated that the value of the largest loan has reached approximately 85 billion Syrian pounds, indicating that the total volume of the deposits in the commercial bank was estimated at 300 billion Syrian pounds. The director of the General Establishment for Cereals Processing and Trade branch in Homs said that the branch is still transferring about 2,000 tons of grains to the neighboring governorates every day. He also said that the branch receives about 4,500 tons of wheat daily, asserting that the reserves are sufficient for this and upcoming years.